doing? Hope everybody is well. Welcome to Shoot the Breeze, my latest invention for an Instagram live. So, yeah, today going to be talking to Dr. Cam Lally, absolute top bloke, entrepreneur, doctor, innovator, just the type of person I love talking to. So when he jumps on, I'll bring him in. But while we're waiting, who have we got? Say hello, give us a wave. Ask if maybe you've got a question that you want to put in for Cam or myself during all of this. Stick it in the notes, stick it in the chat, and we'll go through it. But other than that, hey, how are you guys doing? I hope everybody is well. So we got there he is. He's here. So let me just. I think you have to. There we go. He's a pro. Man, good man. Oh, so there we go. So we got Jerry. How you doing?
I'm good, Richard. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Awesome. I'm really good. It's great to see you. Thank
you.
For joining.
It's all right. It's always a pleasure to have a catch up.
Yeah. It's just good to see you at CCR.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you find it? Have a good time?
Yeah, I thought turnout was really good, and I thought the stands and the talks were of a really good variety and quality, and a little bit biased, but I thought the longevity thread arranged within the conference was really innovative and forward thinking. So big shout out to Dr. Maioni for arranging that.
Yeah, I heard really good things about that. Unfortunately, I didn't get much of a chance to actually listen to the talks, but mine was excellent, just in case you're interested.
I heard it was excellent.
So yeah, so we'll get into it. So I know you're a entrepreneur, doctor, disruptor, innovator, and we'll get into that. But just a little bit of not the top line. Be good to know a little bit about you. What makes you tick. So just give me a couple of minutes. Just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so this is not the formal introduction. You're saying just a little bit about me.
Yeah, the man, Cam the man.
Cam the man. Okay, Cam the man behind. So, I'm a medic, I'm a GP by trade and training, and I think that is now sort of tied into who I am, my personality. It's a vocation that I've had since I was relatively young. I didn't actually know what I wanted to do when I went to university, but I decided that a 6-year degree would give me enough time to decide what I wanted to do. So medicine was a good option at the time because of the duration of the degree. Plus, obviously, I was and I am a bit of a science nerd, so I like the academia side of things, and then sort of did general practice. I'd done a lot of surgical rotations before going into general practice, and then I really missed working with my hands and doing things like surgery or minor ops. So that led me to the world of medical aesthetics pretty much a decade ago now, which seems like forever ago. So as soon as I qualified as a GP in 2013, I started delving into the world of medical aesthetics, and slowly I sort of built up my experience, and was asked to teach by sort of a number of companies, and basically have sort of enjoyed the journey thus far with regards to medical aesthetics. The man sort of behind the persona, as it were. I'm a dad. I've got two kids. I've got an 8-year-old son, and I've got a 7-year-old daughter. I am an Arsenal fan. Actually, one of the questions that when I put that post up yesterday was, what do you think of your last result? What do you think of your last match? So yes, Arsenal lost to West Ham 3-1 in the Carabao Cup. Some people say it's not a serious trophy. I say all silverware is silverware. So that's sort of me in a nutshell. What more would you like to know?
Well, no, I think you're a gunner. Okay, fair enough. If I'm pushing the football team, I'd have to say it's Palace for me.
Fine. Hey, Ian Wright, you gave us Ian Wright, so a legend. I can't complain.
It's true, and I don't think we've never forgotten it either. But no,
And it's Enori's birthday today, actually. Just random coincidence.
random facts with
A
Cam
random
Lads.
fact.
They,
Just in case you're tuning in, Righty, happy birthday from a Palace fan and a Gouda.
Palace and Ghana legend. Well done. Right. So,
Wow.
so let's go back to that sort of step into medical aesthetics, right? So, what was it about it that that sparked your mind? Got you excited and thought, what, actually, I want to get involved in this.
Okay, really good question. Initially, it was I wanted to work with more with my hands. When I went into general practice, it was a real big transition period because when I was training, I had some great mentors that were able to do other things in addition to their general practice. So they were running minor ops clinics, they were running skin cancer screening clinics within their GP surgeries, and then sort of my cohort qualified, and the sort of priority shifted onto service provision, basically just to see patients. So minor ops clinics that I would normally have once a week, they were cancelled because the waiting times and the waiting lists were getting too long. And we're talking 10 years ago in 2013. And so basically that got sidelined, and I have to work with my hands. I miss the creativity aspect of it and the practical aspect of it. So that's what then led me to do a medical aesthetics training course. Typically it was a weekend course back then. You dipped your toe in it, and then you came out with this certificate that probably wasn't worth the paper it's written on, saying, lo and behold, you are now qualified to inject the most toxic or substance known to man, botulinum toxin, okay, into people's faces, and you can also inject some jelly into their faces as well after a weekend's worth of training. How little I knew at the time, but that sort of led me into it. And then as I matured in the industry, there were some companies that were disrupting, and there were some practitioners that were like, what, this needs to change. We need a bit of regulation here. We need an element of quality and a benchmark that everything is set against. And also, because you will have seen the celebrity side of aesthetic medicine, there was this huge celebrity culture that certain, doctors who are brilliant, but if they were on stage, it was like whatever they said was gospel.
Yeah.
And there had to be this move away from eminence to evidence base, and that's what really got me into it, because I was like, actually, this is now evolving into something that we can classify as a science, because we're using clinical evidence to justify doing certain things a certain way or not doing them, and we're bringing into the field something that is now backed by science. And that was when I was like, right, I can now stay in this space, and I can hopefully build on my knowledge and help be one of the pioneers in sharing that knowledge, and making sure that we as a group elevate the baseline knowledge out there. And that's sort of what got me really stuck in, was that big change. And then you've got the whole longevity side of things, which we can talk about, I think, later on, because that's sort of one of the big trends currently.
Yeah, I mean, I think you made a few really, really good points, and I love that. Evidence, not eminence, I think that's a really, really wonderful phrase, actually, that I think explains a lot about also how I feel about this market as well. So, similar to you, I got into this in 2004, and it was...
You don't look old enough, Richard.
Well, funnily enough, I'm in the right market, right?
Tell me your secrets, mate. I should market them.
Yeah, one of my secrets is the most powerful neurotoxin known to man.
Yeah. There you go.
That's always a good
bit of a sprinkling
every now and again.
That's
I let muscular atrophy do its work, but yeah, I mean, he could do it a little bit more. You know what that's called? That's called 4 children having to stop them from doing crazy shit without shouting. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Perma frown. You've got perma frown.
Yeah, just vexed, right? But anyway, so but yeah, I mean, from what 20 years nearly been in the market, seen it evolve quite a lot, from just line chasing through to into energy devices, whole face treatments they call it, body, and it's continuing to evolve. And I think it's a good point to kind of jump onto this longevity aspect, because I know what we've spoken about in the past, and when I met you at the Face, I think it was, we did that silent podcasting together.
We did.
What I liked about what you're talking about was that passion for innovation, that passion for disruption, as a disruptor. And I like that because I'm a bit of a disruptor as well. I think in this market there's definitely opportunities for disruption, because there's still a lot of people doing things exactly the same way. So what kind of trends are you seeing? Regenerative medicine, longevity, but how do you think that's going to play out over the next couple of years?
I think it's a huge area of growth, and I think a lot of companies are actually diverting significant R&D funds and resources towards it. And the things that we're looking at and we're seeing, and a lot of it's actually true. Sorry, that was Instagram telling me I need to take a break from Instagram. That's why I froze.
Hang on, Instagram told you off?
Yeah, basically, to make sure that I don't get digitally overwhelmed, which is, such a first world problem. But I set timers basically so that I don't just doom scroll. And this was Instagram basically saying, time to take a break. So that's why I'm here frozen.
Very useful tip for everyone out there. Anyway,
very useful tip.
Continue.
So basically, post-pandemic, I think a lot of people have become more aware of their health in general, right? Firstly, they had a lot of time relatively on their hands, especially if you weren't front line, to look into bettering yourself, your lifestyle, and actually made us all really aware of our mortality. So I think that's really led to a spike in interest. And what I was doing at the time was I was sort of kicking off my medical weight management services effectively, which as a GP, that completely dovetailed beautifully with the aesthetic world as well, because general practice is about primary prevention. You're preventing the disease process going along so far that they need to be referred into secondary care, which commonly we know as hospitals. So for me, I knew that obesity is and was the pandemic before the pandemic. And for me, I was like, if I can actually start spreading some knowledge about this and offer services in tandem with my aesthetic services, then actually not only are people going to look better, which people, one could argue that's pure vanity, but actually I'm going to make them healthier on the inside, which means they're going to live longer. And ultimately that is a much more sort of altruistic aim. And that's when I got into the world of longevity medicine, as it were, because we know if you basically take somebody from the obese category into normal weight, all cause mortality goes down. I know this is not an obesity talk, but essentially we knew that people will live longer if you can fix that. And then it led on to other things. And there's a great conference going on tomorrow, regenerative medicine. And one of the big trends of this year that we've seen is things like using polynucleotides to help remodel tissue and remodel skin. There's big research going into peptide molecules as messengers that can actually help turn off processes that are associated with aging. And then there's this term called inflammaging, where the aging process is accelerated by a state of chronic inflammation, sometimes low